So when it comes to literacy, we're talking, I mean, most people talk about reading and writing, right? All the parents want their children to be able to read and write. What we need to know is there's a very long process to get to the stage of reading. We start with what we call phonological awareness. Many years ago, we didn't really do training in phonological awareness. Most people had heard of phonics, but not phonological awareness. And phonics is a part of this big umbrella term of phonological awareness, but there's something more important we need to know before we start going into phonics. So just to explain what some of these terms mean. Phonological awareness is the ability to play with sounds. Okay? Phonemes are the individual units of sound that we use in a language. So in Standard Australian English, we have 44 phonemes, so individual sounds that we use in English. In other languages, for example, I think Spanish has only 28 phonemes, so it's actually easier to learn Spanish. So English has 44 phonemes, lots of different sounds that we need to learn in order to say the words that we need to speak in English, okay? Interestingly enough, babies learn to babble. You know, when a baby says goo goo gaga, they're actually learning to babble in the language that they hear around them. If a baby hears Mandarin, they babble in Mandarin. If they hear Spanish, they babble in Spanish. And that's how they practice learning the sounds that they need to speak in that language later. Right, so there's a lot of things that we have to do before we can actually get to the stage of reading with our children. Playing with sounds, lots of talking to them. Even before they're born, you can talk to children. While they're still in your womb, they will hear the sounds around them. They can hear sounds around them. And that's how they start to understand the cadences, right? The rhythm of the language that they are going to speak in. So lots of reading, lots of singing to children, okay, talking to them. What we sometimes call sports casting. So it's like, you know, when you're watching a sports match or like cricket match or soccer or something, and the commentator is saying, oh, now the guy is running towards the goal and now he's going to kick it with his right leg. So you're doing that with your baby. You're telling your baby, oh, now we are going to get milk. Look, I'm opening the tin and this is how I'm going to put the powder in. And you're doing that kind of sports casting all along with your baby. So they're learning lots of language. We talk about this 30 million word gap, right? There's some research around that. And what that says is children who have grown up in a household where there's been lots of language, usually with more educated parents, but children who have grown up in a household where there's been lots of language, by the time they start school, there's a 30 million word gap between what they have heard, the number of words they have heard from the time they were born till the time they go to school. Okay, so if we think about it, if we can just increase the amount of words we say with our children a little bit every day, we're helping to bridge that 30 million word gap. Now, the other part of phonological awareness, and this is where we can start getting more kind of technical with it, is we want to start using sounds of letters, not the names of letters, okay? Because if we were to teach a child to read, and we were teaching them A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, okay? For example, if they were to read the word cat, all they would be able to read is C-A-T. And it doesn't matter how many times you say it, C-A-T, C-A-T, you're never going to be able to read cat. So we actually want them to learn the sounds of the word, the k-at, right? So that they can put them together and make the word cat. So ideally, if you're teaching them the alphabet, we teach them a, b, k, d, and so on. Now, of course, all the children learn the ABC song, so everybody already knows the names of the letters, but we can do lots of fun things with children, like, you know, I spy with my little eye something that starts with B, okay? I can see a ball or a book, so helping children to recognize the sounds of the letters, okay? Or look at that letter, it looks like or it looks like s, okay? So that we're helping children to understand the sounds that they need to eventually be able to read.
Instead of saying like the word started from A, B, C.
Yeah. It's not, instead of saying, oh, that's a letter A, that's a letter B, and so that's a A, that's a B, right? So that children start to understand the sounds that they need.